Hi everyone, welcome to Yoga with Heini. I'm Heini, and today I'll show you 3 different ways to use common household items to replace your bolsters, blocks and straps in yoga practice. Let's get started. And at the end of the video, as a sort of extra trick, extra bonus, I'll show you how to use a sock as a prop in our yoga practice to release pressure in joints. But let's get on with our prop hacks, and our first candidate here is a block. So we have our yoga specific blocks, but we don't necessarily need to use them. We could use books as alternatives. And I have here 2 different kind of books. So first one here, the white one, is quite flimsy, and this could be okay for maybe using under knees or even under the pelvis when we're lying down. But when we start to put some more weight and pressure onto the prop, then a hardcover book is really a bit better. Then it's not moving so much under your body. And if you use a book as a block under your hand, let's say in a balancing pose, make sure that you turn the open side towards your hand, so that when you put some weight, some pressure onto the book, if it's the open side down to the floor, it might suddenly open and then it's suddenly not so sturdy anymore. So make sure you turn the open side to your hand, and then it's a bit sturdier. So books are quite good, and we often have at least one book at home. And another option could be some kind of kitchen food containers, food boxes, and it's good if they're quite hard plastic boxes. And you could even use these in poses like supported bridge, where you put the whole pelvis on top of the box, on top of the block. So these food containers are really good hacks for blocks as well. Duvets and heavier, bigger blankets make very good bolsters. You just roll them, or maybe roll several on top of each other. They're also really good because then you can decide how big or how small you want your bolster to be. Maybe you have 5 different sizes of bolsters for your practice. So duvets and blankets, really good bolsters. And then probably my personal favorite, sofa cushions. Sofa cushions make excellent bolsters. You can use them just as flat, so you could put them just under your back, under your pelvis, under head, under belly, or you could fold them. Often sofa cushions are a bit bigger, so then you can also fold them, make them extra thick, or you could stack them on top of each other. So again, just like with the duvets, with the blankets, you can modify what size of a bolster you have. So sofa cushions are really nice, and they're often also a bit harder than really soft duvets and pillows. So that also makes sofa cushions really nice bolsters. And then one more is a yoga mat. So if you have any extra yoga mats, you could use them as bolsters, especially under pelvis, under back. Well, I mean, basically in any way that you would use a bolster as well. They are a bit smaller, but you could also combine a yoga mat with a duvet. So if you feel that just the yoga mat is too narrow, it's too small, it's too low, take a yoga mat. It gives kind of good filling for your bolster, and then roll it inside a duvet. So then the duvet gives the nice soft cushioning, but it makes it a bit harder, so then it doesn't give in as much as the duvet by itself. So you could use it as a filling inside your duvet bolster. And this might work with a camping mat as well. So if you don't have an extra yoga mat, maybe have a camping mat or something similar. So anything you can just kind of roll inside the blanket to make it a bit harder. And then finally we have the yoga strap. And I think the yoga strap is maybe the easiest one to replace with things that we find home. The yoga strap is sometimes also called a yoga belt, and that's a hint that we might use just a regular belt instead of a yoga belt. So you could use a belt that you might use in your trousers, or maybe a dressing gown belt. They're quite good because they're often quite long. So those would be good alternatives for the yoga strap. And then I have here a scarf. You could use a scarf instead of the yoga strap. The yoga strap is quite, it's not very flexible, so it doesn't give in a lot. So when you're using a scarf, just keep that in mind, that the yoga strap normally doesn't give in a lot. So you might choose a scarf that's not very flexible either. And then the final candidate here is a sock, a long sock. In poses, for example, where you use it as an extension for your arms, the sock might be long enough. We don't necessarily need a very long strap. So just a sock around the foot might be enough. Again, the sock is probably a bit more flexible than the yoga strap, but often it works just fine. And then the little extra trick that I mentioned in the beginning, how to use a sock as a yoga prop for the joints. This is not really a prop hack per se, because we don't have really specific yoga props for this. You could use blankets if you have blankets. Blankets are just blankets, yoga or not. But socks are really good, and sometimes you come into a class or into your practice with socks on, so you have them kind of lying around anyway. So if you ever get pains or kind of extra pressure or kind of pinching sensations in the hips or maybe knees or in the ankles, this is where the sock can be quite handy. And I'll use child's pose as an example because it involves all these 3 joints. So when you lean forward in a child's pose, if you get a bit pinchy in the hip joint, I often do, I like to put a sock into the hip crease, so really kind of pushing the sock into the joint space almost, and then leaning forward over that sock. And it just creates a bit more space in the joint, and I don't feel that kind of pinch, so much pressure in the joint. And you can do the same with the knees. So you could put the sock not inside the knee, no, don't put it inside the knee, into the joint space, into the crease of the knee here at the back. And then when you lean back, again, it creates just a bit more space in the joint, makes the pose a bit more comfortable. Or lastly, if you feel a lot of pressure under the ankle or foot, just put the sock under the ankle, under the top of the foot, and it often cushions it a bit and takes the most pressure off the joint. So something as simple as a sock can be an excellent yoga prop. That's all from me in this video, and I would really love to hear if you have some different ideas. How do you use everyday stuff at home as props, or if you just now came up with a new idea, share all these ideas in the comments below, and then everybody can use, and everybody share those ideas, and we can benefit them in our home practice. So comment below and let me know your thoughts, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye. Thanks for watching. I hope you found that useful. If you did, click subscribe and hit the bell icon so you'll be notified of any new videos. I'll be posting lots more yoga related videos on this channel. I also teach online yoga classes, and if you're interested in those, you'll find more information in the description box below and on my website. I'll see you on the next video. Bye.